Hello there. Good to see all of you today. It's May 16th, and it's coronavirus update by Heerak show. And it's good to see you. And you're going to be learning a lot and have a lot of entertainment in the process. I want you to survive COVID-19, but also enjoy life as you learn about COVID and as you survive COVID. On me, take on me, take me on. I'll be. The note is too high for me to sing. Yeah, today is commencement day at Georgetown. Um, and since, it's a happy event because we're graduating and the class of 2020 is graduating, but it's bittersweet because Georgetown students are leaving Georgetown University after their graduation. And it's more sad because class of 2020 cannot be on campus physically to celebrate with their friends and give us proper goodbye, you know? I remember graduating from college and, graduation weekend and all the festivities, they gave value and meaning to the commencement. So I feel really bad for class of 2020 who will never, ever have that joy of graduate celebration. And they missed all the celebrations in March, April, and it's really sad because it's never going to come back again. Your bachelor's program and the friendships you made for 4 years, and you don't have closure. So I feel really bad for all the Georgetown University students. Because everyone will be gone. And there's this big gaping hole the last couple of months leading up to graduation. And you will never get that back, ever. And so I feel for you all, the graduating seniors at Georgetown University. And it's unfortunate. And this is something that you're going to regret rest of your life, not having this graduation celebration. Yeah, it's very sad. But COVID-19 has taken graduation away. And I wrote a post about that. And I started a poetry series, and every Monday on my Twitter account, Heerak 4 Congress, Heerak number 4 Congress, Twitter, you can read a new COVID-19 poem. So I started this poetry series called COVID-19 Poems by Heerak in order to help you, everyone, cope with COVID-19 and how it has impacted their lives. So I've written several poems about graduation in the past few weeks, just to help class of 2020 deal with COVID-19 through poetic catharsis. Poetry can help deal with your emotions, your anger, your grieving process, because in a sense, all the 2020 graduating seniors are going through some kind of a grieving process because of the loss of the graduation ceremony that you were looking forward to for 4 years. You have your gown and you were looking towards celebrating in person with all your family, loved ones there, taking a lot of photos to remember this momentous transition in life by. You are looking forward to getting your first job, getting your first apartment outside of Georgetown area. Now all of that is gone. And that's really, really sad. And I feel bad for you because that's something that you will never ever get back. And most of you don't have a job to go to after graduating, no internship to go to in the summer. Some of you, your graduate programs that you were accepted to are up in the air, and you don't know what's going to happen in the fall. And so many of you are going through a different grieving process. Some of you may be in denial. Some of you may be saying, oh, this isn't happening, and you still don't believe that it's happening. There may be some among you who are like that, still in the state of denial. Or maybe you're saying, oh, everything's going to be fine. Everything's going to go back to normal. And that's part of denial, right? Because it's not going to go back to normal. COVID-19 is here to stay. World Health Organization said it may never go away, kind of like HIV or hepatitis C. And that's what they said yesterday, that COVID-19 may never go away. And it will kill and kill and kill more and more people until a vaccine is found. It can be found, in 2 years. It may be found in 5 years. It may be found in 10 years. It may never be found, in which case we may have hundreds of millions of people dying around the world in the next decade from COVID-19. We just don't know what's going to happen. So for those of you who are in denial that things are going to go back to normal, I understand everybody needs their grieving process, but it probably won't happen. Scientifically, will definitely not happen. And Harry is crying for you. Can you see the tears coming out of his eyes? He's really sad, and he feels for you. He feels empathy for you that you're going through this process of grieving, not having a physical commencement ceremony. It's really sad. Last year, during confer of degrees, every student's name was called out, and every student walked up to President De Hoya. But today, no names were called out. Ceremony was really short. So some of you may feel more emptiness inside because, not only is it online, your name wasn't called during the commencement ceremony. I feel for you. I was looking at my commencement from University of West Georgia. I received my Master of Education in Reading Instruction. I'm a reading specialist. And, they called everybody's name. And everybody went up to get their degree. That's confer of degrees. That didn't happen today. And it's probably like that with every university, a majority of the universities. And that's really sad. I have a lot of degrees, so I've been to a lot of commencement ceremonies. But especially for those of you who are graduating from a bachelor's program, this is like the best, most important graduation ceremony you're going to have in your life. With all your friends from 4 years of college, there's nothing like that. And you're not going to have it. And that's, I feel for you, Yeah, I feel for you. I'm feeling for you. I have empathy for you. And some of you may be going through anger, and that's totally understandable. It's natural because you lost something that probably is the most important memory in your life. For many of you, college graduation memory would be your greatest memory. And you're away from all your friends, isolated from your friends physically. So it's not the same. Zooming in, it's not the same. 2D. I wrote a poem called, COVID-19 made my graduation 2D. For those of you who are now living in the 2D world, where you meet your friends through Zoom or, 2D screen. you're not meeting them in a 3D space. So I wrote a poem about that, and you may want to read it. It's every Monday I have a poem, so you just go to my Twitter page, Heerak 4 Congress, number 4 Congress, and then every Monday you could read a new poem on COVID-19. I hope that it will help you, go through your grieving process. As you know, I'm graduating with master's from the School of Nursing and Health Studies at Georgetown University in the Clinical Nurse Leader Program, CNL program. Our program goes until August, so our summer term is beginning on Monday. And I have a practicum. We're still at Georgetown, unlike undergraduate students who are graduating in May, and your connection with Georgetown is completely cut forever, unless you do a graduate program, master's or PhD, or some kind of a graduate program. Um, you know, and so you know, I feel for you. Today basically marks the day that you're separated from Georgetown. For those of you who are undergraduates, and those of you who finish your PhD or master's degree in May, this is your goodbye to Georgetown. I feel for you because you're not going to ever have a closure to this. So I feel for you. I feel empathy for you. And as you know, Georgetown University is a Catholic university, basically owned by the Vatican, and it's run by Jesuits. It's a Jesuit Catholic university, and Jesuits are a denomination within Catholicism, and they are considered defenders of the Catholic faith since their founding. And one of the values that they emphasize is cura personalis, which is caring for the whole person. And that is a theme of the School of Nursing and Health Studies at Georgetown University. So one of the things I try to do for you in this show is to meet your mental health needs, psychological needs, because that's an important part of your need. Obviously, I want to meet your spiritual needs as well, and I try to provide that venue through COVID-19 Update by Heerak, this show. So watch every day. It's a daily show. You can subscribe to the YouTube channel so you could access it right away and get updates. So I hope this show will help you survive COVID. I have a photo from 2019 commencement ceremony at Georgetown for those of you who attended the online one today, so you can kind of see what that's like. I had some photos yesterday from 2019 commencement as well. Yeah, I want to try to provide you with means to cope with your grieving process and not having a commencement. So I hope that this helps you. Yeah, so let's go to the death figures. COVID-19 is killing around 1,500. Yesterday, for 4 days, past 4 days, they killed more than 1,500. Today went down below 1,500, but I don't think that's the new normal. I think the normal will be around 1,500 to 2,000, and it's going to continue to grow. That's my theory. So I wouldn't get too excited at one day drop. It's going to go back up again. So I would say the new normal is around 2,000 deaths per day, give or take, 100 or 200. Yeah, so we're entering we are still kind of in an initial stage because this is our third month with COVID. Started with March, April, basically, and then May. So for many, it's only been 2 months. So we're still at the initial stage. And our experience is completely different from Asia or Africa or Middle East. Because in Asia, Africa, or Middle East, there are not that many people dying. Even in Eastern European countries like Russia, Kazakhstan, there are not that many people dying. So the experience of us having all these deaths is unique to United States and our NATO allies. And so it may not be accurate to talk about global pandemic Although everybody has, some cases, everybody's not suffering in the same way. Uh, COVID-19 seems to be targeting United States for killing and Europe for killing. We have the most number of deaths. To give you a better picture, 25% of all the COVID-19 cases in the world are in the United States of America. And 25% of all the COVID-19 deaths are in the United States of America. So that's kind of lopsided because we only have 330 million people. China has over 1 billion people. India has over 1 billion people. But China had less than 4,000 die, from beginning to now, and it started earlier in China. And India only had around 2,000 die, and they're both countries over 1 billion people. We're a country only of 330 million. But look, we already have 88,754 people who've died. And it started much later, like in March for us. Maybe in February if you count Washington State. So it's a serious problem. In the 24-hour period, 1,261 people have died. So yesterday we had 87,493 deaths. Today the total is at 88,754. We're definitely going to pass 100,000 by May, possibly even by next week. And I'm predicting that anywhere between 200 to 300,000 people will die in Virginia and 49 other states. And so it's a very sad time right now. And I'm predicting that by August 2020, over 1 million people will die. Why am I being brutally honest with you and realistic? Because I think it's important for us to emotionally prepare, because I think it's important for our mental health, for us to consider possibilities that could be worst case scenarios that can actually happen. Because if you're thinking like, oh, everything's going back to normal, you're in a stage of denial. And in the mental health area, when your grieving is prolonged, then it becomes a mental illness. Yes, I don't want you to become mentally ill by being in a stage of denial for longer than you should be. Because Kubler-Ross's stage of denial, and you can Google this, goes through several stages, and you're not supposed to be in one stage too long. So if you're saying to yourself, oh, COVID-19 is fake, it doesn't exist. Obviously, if you're saying that now, you probably have some kind of mental illness or mental problem. And you should probably go see your priest or your pastor about it. And I think that can really help you. You could Zoom in and talk to your pastor, or phone in and talk to your pastor or your priest. Because if you're saying that COVID-19 doesn't exist, then you're denying the reality that exists all around you, right? These death numbers are not fake numbers. They actually are numbers attached to people who have died in the 24-hour period. 1,261 people have died in the 24-hour period in America. And if you're saying that's not happening, then you're developing a mental illness. Yeah. So I would be very concerned about you if you're in state of denial that this is not happening, because then I would probably say you are suffering from some kind of mental illness right now. If you're saying that this is not happening, it's not happening, and you're in state of denial. For those of you who are saying everything's going to go back to normal, you are still in a state of denial. At least you're not denying the reality of what's happening. You are in a state of denial that this is here to stay, that this will last 2-3 more years, or perhaps for forever. Like World Health Organization is saying, this is going to stay forever, like HIV. It started a long time ago, it's still here. People are still getting infected. So I think a healthier way for you to think is that COVID-19 is like HIV, like as the World Health Organization is saying, and that this is going to be here forever. And if there isn't cure or vaccine, it's going to keep killing. Yeah, I think that's a better way for you to be mentally, because I want you to be mentally healthy. I don't want you to develop mental illness. So I'm just telling you, be realistic. All the scientists are giving you the science, and they could be wrong. I mean, because scientists don't really know what COVID-19 is. They're still trying to understand. So I'm not saying that they're 100% correct. It may turn out that they're wrong in the future, but if they turn out to be wrong, that's great. But they are scientists, and they understand how viruses work. Um, there are different types of virus. There are seasonal flu virus like influenza, and then there's HIV virus that's like continuous 365 days a year. So there are different types, but you have to recognize that this could be one of those types. And it's healthier for you mentally to acknowledge that it could either be a seasonal flu virus or like an HIV, continuous virus that will keep killing. Yeah, I mean, you got to condition your mind to be strong, and it's not going to be strong if you deny the reality. Um, people if for people who have a child die, some people grieve, but they get over it. They could live normally, but there are others whose grieving process is so seriously skewed that they commit suicide. There have been cases of people committing homicide. There are people who have lost all reality of life and stopped working. So there have been cases where people do not mentally function. They have a nervous breakdown and they become functionally retarded, quote, retarded. I hate using that term, but just to help you understand what goes on. Like they can't function in society. So there are mentally problematic ways of dealing with tragedy. And obviously COVID-19 is a tragedy that has struck United States. We need to deal with it in a healthy way. We have to recognize that it is possible for this to be here forever, and that vaccine may never be discovered, in which case for the next several decades, people will be killed by COVID in large numbers unless we develop some kind of respirator that will protect people, and people will be walking around respirators that's newly developed for the next 20, 30 years. It's possible. We have to deal with reality. People are dying, 1,261 per day. And we've been basically confined to our homes. And this death figure is in light of the confining at home. Once the states open up, we may have 10,000 people die per day. Don't be shocked. Heerak Christian Kim told you that there could be 10,000 per day. So when it happens, or if it happens in July or even June, don't be shocked, because Heerak Christian Kim warned you that if the country opens up, this could happen. It may not happen. I hope it won't happen, but it could happen. So you should prepare yourself psychologically, because Heerak Christian Kim, and that's who I am. I'm running as an independent candidate for U.S. Congress in Virginia's 8th District. That's Arlington, Alexandria, Falls Church, and Fairfax County. I'm predicting that over 1 million people will die by June, because we're opening up our country. I mean, I may have to revise it higher, but I'm saying minimum 1 million people will die. Not by June, I meant August 2020. And I believe I'm going to be right. Let's see. But I mean, when we are having like anywhere from 2,000 to like 4,000 people die, when people are confined to their homes and isolated, I assure you we're going to far more die when people are moving around, talking to each other. Yeah, it's just logical and it's scientific. So you should not be surprised when that happens. Confirmed cases are going up between 20 to 30,000, and it's been consistent. So yesterday we had a total of 1,442,924 cases. 24 hours later, we have 1,467,796 cases. And that represents about 1/4 of world's COVID-19 cases. That's in the United States. it's a disproportionate number, and that's why I'm saying COVID-19 is a advanced biological weapon of mass destruction, WMD, that the Chinese government has created over the past several decades with the sole purpose of destroying the United States of America, which is the sole or primary competition of China for superpower. And that they planned this either initially or recently or a while ago with Russia. And that's why Russian deaths are so low as well. They're like 2,000. Although their cases are much higher than United Kingdom. So there's something fishy going on. And that's why I think my explanation that COVID-19 is an advanced biological weapon that was genetically modified to target Americans and Europeans, Western Europeans, is probably a correct theory. It's still a theory, it still have to be proven, but I would argue that statistically, by the rules of social scientific research, it's basically proven, because I've been having this show for a couple of months, over a month, and you've seen the figures, and it's been consistently the same. So I would say from a social scientific perspective, we have evidence that this is a biological weapon targeting the United States and Europe. But obviously, because it's a virus, we need a scientific evidence confirmation. And that may not come for 10, 20 years. Science is very slow. So that's why I'm saying, I think we should operate as if this is a biological weapon created by China to target US and Europe, and they have successfully utilized it preemptively against US and Europe. And that's why we need to respond using social scientific evidence. Scientific evidence or pure science evidence, I don't think will come for the next 10 to 20 years. It'll be too late. I'm predicting the United States of America as a nation will collapse completely in the next 3 years. Watch yesterday's show for more explanation. But when I say collapse, meaning New York will no longer be significant for global trade or economics, and Washington, D.C., United States government will no longer be a voice in global politics because China will be the center of the world, and its greatest ally will be Russia. It's kind of like United States with the United Kingdom. Western Europe will completely collapse. America will completely collapse in the next 3 years because we have been, unfortunately, effectively destroyed through new preemptive biological weapons of mass destruction strike by Russia and China. China primarily, but Russia as its ally. And it's just, unless we do something drastic against China and Russia, I would say we're going to collapse. Not only collapse, Russia's going to invade Europe, and China's going to invade the United States. I mean, China has over 10 million soldiers, and they could recruit more. They have a population of 1.23 billion people. They could easily amass an army of 100 million. They could occupy the United States without any problem. With 100 million soldiers, they could easily recruit. I mean, it's a communist dictatorship, and so they could just require people between 20 to 30 to join the army, bring them to the United States, and then settle them in every state as occupiers. It's definitely possible. So it's been done. The Roman Empire did it. So it's been done in history. Greek Empire did it as well when it was an empire. So it can be done. And I believe that it will be done by China in the United States. Territorially, they physically occupy it. Once about 20 to 30 million Americans are dead in the next 2 years, 1 to 2 years, China will invade with their 100 million soldiers. They'll occupy it. I assure you, they're building ships now to do this. Yeah, because we don't have anything that we're producing because people are dying everywhere. In China, nobody's dying right now. They don't even have like 20 people dying every day. Everything is working. Everybody's working in China right now. Everybody. All 1.2 billion people who are old enough to work are working now. And they're building ships, they're building missiles, they're building guns, they're building everything. And they're going to sell to Africa where there aren't that many deaths. They're going to sell to Middle East where there aren't that many deaths. They're going to sell to Latin America where there aren't that many deaths. We're drastically losing market share. We're not producing anything. So I would say give it 2-3 years. We're going to collapse completely. And we're in catch-22 because if we open right now and have our people work, they're going to die. I am saying we need to produce 1 trillion N95 masks and give it to workers. And then we need to develop more advanced respirators for workers so they don't die if they work. But right now, without N95 masks, if you tell people to work, they're going to die. Watch what happens in the next couple of months. Yeah, let's see if I'm wrong. I don't think I'm wrong. And that's what I call the catch-22. If we don't work, our economy is going to collapse. If we work, our people are going to die. And that's precisely what Chinese planned for the last 20, 30 years. This is what China has been planning for. And recently they succeeded in developing a virus that works. They probably went through hundreds or even thousands of human subjects, maybe in their prison system, tested this COVID out for past 20 years on humans. And they finally succeeded and they deployed it. Yeah, watch yesterday's episode to get a clearer picture of that. Today, I want to celebrate graduating class of 2020. And so you know what to expect. Yeah, so that's in wait for you. But so before this year, there was graduating class of 2019. Congratulations to everybody who's graduating. Yeah, the computer's getting really happy. They want to get to the next screen. But we do have things to talk about right now. So you do have to wait a few minutes for the exciting next stage. And that is, the poster presentations. I was really looking forward to going and seeing the poster presentations of seniors this year. Because BSNs have their poster presentation. And the clinical nurse leaders have our poster presentation. And last year, I went and saw the poster presentation of BSNs. And these photos are from last year's BSN poster presentations. And CNL, we were going to have a poster presentation, but we did not get to do that. I missed out on BSN poster presentation, and obviously CNL, clinical nurse leaders, we had our poster presentation over Zoom. I'm hoping that School of Nursing and Health Studies will put that up on their website for people to view. I wanted to, because we're proud of what we did, and these poster presentations are open to the public. So anybody who wants to come and see it can come and see it. So I think we should put it up on Zoom. So hopefully the School of Nursing and Health Studies at Georgetown will put up our CNL poster presentations on Zoom so people can see it, because people do not have the opportunity to come and see our poster presentations in person. Normally, we present and then people will just walk in and see our poster presentations. Anybody at Georgetown or anybody who wants to. But since that's not possible, I think we should put that up on Zoom. Because I'm sure a lot of people are interested in seeing it. Same with the bachelor's, BSN poster presentations. I'd love to see what they researched. Bachelor of Science and Nursing students who are graduating, there are 25 of them. Last year, I went to the BSN poster presentation, and it was very impressive. Underneath me is a poster presentation by Corey Belforti and Juliana Kadar. And it was very good. And above that, their poster presentation is Andrea Avellino and Lily Firth. Oh, actually, next to that is Andrew Avino is, from what I understand, working at Virginia Hospital Center in the emergency room. And I think Lily Furt is back in Philadelphia with her parents. I'm not sure though. That was what she was planning. And Corey Belforti is at Children's National Hospital in Washington D.C. Helping children. And you know, After Bachelor of Science of Nursing degree, they go and work in hospitals. So that makes sense, right? So next to Lily Furt is the Georgetown School of Nursing and Health Studies sign, and next to them uh, are Anna Feiner and Elizabeth Schnorr. All of them are Bachelor of Science in Nursing students from last year, class of 2019. And at the top, next to the video screen, I'm waving here, are is the poster presentation for Molly Hamilton and Soria de Lopez. And so, yeah, I think a lot of them are actually working in Washington, D.C. area as hospitals. Last year's class of 2019. And I suppose things may be different this year because all the undergraduate students went back home in March. So the BSN students are probably, or most of them, or all of them are at home now. Commencement was today. So they're probably going to work as nurses near their homes. I'm thinking. So it'll be different from last year. But welcome to everyone who will be coming into our new PSN program in the fall 2020. You made the right decision to choose Georgetown as your PSN program. So, we welcome everybody who have committed to Georgetown. We welcome everybody who have committed to Clinical Nurse Leader Program to start in fall 2020. You have made the right decision. So you should be proud of that. Right now, there's a lot of uncertainty for what's going to happen with Bachelors of Science in Nursing students who are graduating in 2020 and Clinical Nurse Leader students who are graduating in 2020. Obviously, we have to fight COVID in some way. It's everywhere. And now a new strain of COVID-19 has mutated into killing children. And I'm calling that New York virus. And it's infected over 3 people in this area as of yesterday. And it's spreading. And it's going to kill a lot of children in Washington, D.C., Virginia, and Maryland, unfortunately. And it started from New York. They have over 100 cases now in New York. It started last week. They had like 50 cases. And people start dying, children. New Jersey has over 20 cases. It's spreading all over America. A lot of children are going to die. As you know, I'm recommending that Arlington Public Schools, Alexandria Public Schools, Falls Church Public Schools, and Fairfax County Public Schools all close for fall 2020 because of COVID-19. I've said this before New York virus developed, but especially now because New York virus has developed, COVID-19 has mutated into New York virus that targets children and kills them. I think it would be foolhardy to open Arlington Public Schools, Alexandria Public Schools, Fairfax Public Schools, and Falls Church Public Schools for the fall semester in August or September. I think it would be foolhardy. A lot of children will die in closed, confined classroom. So, I mean, it may be difficult for the parents, but would you rather have your kid die in a school or stay at home and live? I mean, there will be children who stay home who may get New York virus and die. But if your child goes to Arlington Public Schools, like 5th grade, I mean, there's probably over 50% chance that your child's going to get COVID-19, the New York virus version. And, there's a high chance that your child will die. So I would recommend Arlington County Public Schools, Alexandria City Public Schools, Falls Church City Public Schools, and Fairfax County Public Schools close for fall. Start preparing teachers to teach online. This reality is going to exist until we have a respirator. right? I have been calling on the US government, the manufacturing sector, all the engineering schools throughout the country to develop respirators for average Joe American who can wear it to work, or children who can wear it to school, right? Because without a respirator that's 100% or 99% protective of COVID-19 infection, your child will die. Your child will die going to school. So we have to develop this. So we cannot send our children until this respirator is developed and mass produced, that you have these to give to your kids. That's what I'm saying. Your child's life is important to me, and I hope your child's life is important to you too. And I believe that you value your child's life, in which case you need to contact Alexandria Public Schools, Arlington Public Schools, Falls Church Public Schools, Fairfax County Public Schools, and tell them to close the school down. Excuse me. You want your children to die? I'm trying to find a solution to this, right? So I'm saying that we need to mass produce N95 masks, which is the best protection we have right now, and give to everybody or let people buy it for cheap. We need to produce 1 trillion of them right now. We cannot start working until then. We cannot start school before you have these N95 masks. So any school that starts without an N95 mask, you're asking for proliferation of COVID-19 cases and proliferation of deaths. We're not going to be able to build vaccine for a while, or maybe never, if scientists are right in saying that that's a possibility. We don't have a cure. We're throwing all the drugs at it that we think could work, but there's no proof that they work. So we need to produce what we can produce to protect people. That's N95 masks. That's what I'm saying. We need to produce 1 trillion N95 masks every day so people have it. You cannot use the same mask like the whole week. You gotta have like a new mask every day or several per day. That's why we need to produce 1 trillion masks. Until we have these masks for every American, we cannot open up public schools because they're going to die. Because now there's a new strain that targets children. But Heerak Christian Kim is calling N95 masks. New York virus. We need N95 masks to protect your children from that. But are politicians listening? Is Don Beyer, U.S. Congressman, Virginia's 8th District, listening? Is he trying to protect your children like Heerak Christian Kim is? I, Heerak Christian Kim, am interested in helping you and protecting your children. Don Beyer is not. Don Beyer is not doing anything to make N95 masks for you. As soon as I'm elected to U.S. Congress, I, Heerak Christian Kim, will be making N95 masks for you. And that will be the priority. I don't want your children to go to public schools or private schools or Catholic schools and die from New York virus. That's why I'm saying close the schools down. It's okay if your child is a little behind, as long as your child is alive. Do you rather have your child die keeping up with the school curriculum, or do you rather have your children live at home, even if that means they will be few grade levels behind? What's your preference? You as the parent need to decide what you want. Are you so seriously concerned about your child's education that you don't care about your child's life? I'm saying you're screwed up if that's your case. The last thing you should worry about is your child falling behind academically. That's not even an issue right now. We're talking about your child dying. You're losing your child forever. And you're talking about whether your child is going to keep up with his studies? Is that even an important issue right now? I'm just shocked that there are politicians who's talking about this. In Virginia's 8th district, all of these Democrats, Democrat elitists, they don't care about the lives of your children. They care about education level. They want to say Fairfax County Public Schools is the best educational system in America. And they're willing to kill your children to prove it. These Democrats, I say vote them out. If anybody identifies themselves as Democrat, vote against them. You have to send a message in the local elections because you politicians are not getting the message that your children's life is important, that your life is important. That's why I'm saying in the elections that are coming up locally in Alexandria, Arlington, Falls Church, and Fairfax County, you have to vote against the incumbents. Vote all of them out. Vote the new people in. Out with the old and in with the new. Because people who have been there forever, they're not doing it for you. There's a reason why Fairfax County is the epicenter, has the highest number of deaths from COVID. Why is that the case? Why isn't Richmond the highest death case of COVID in Virginia? That's because Fairfax County's Democratic politicians are all incompetent. You have to vote them out. You have to send a resounding message in Virginia's 8th district, 10th district, and 11th district that status quo is unacceptable. These Democratic politicians don't care about your children. They don't care about you. That's why there are so many people dying. You have to send a message through election. Vote out all the incumbents, including Don Byron in November 3rd, 2020 election. As you know, I'm running to be U.S. Congressman in Virginia's 8th district as an independent candidate for U.S. Congress. Right now, Don Byron and Virginia Governor Northam are playing dirty politics, trying to put me out of the Virginia's ballot box. I'm officially registered with the Federal Election Commission because U.S. Congress is a federal position. So I'm an official candidate with Federal Election Commission. I registered as a Republican in November 2019. When I decided to run as an independent in March, I called up Federal Election Commission and asked them, what do I need to do? Because I'm no longer running as a Republican, but I'm running as an independent. What do I need to do? And they say, yeah, just make the switch on the system. And that's what I did because I have my account. I have my U.S. Congress candidate account with Federal Election Commission. So I just made the changes. Now I have no party affiliation. I'm independent. You could go to Federal Election Commission and check out my website. Yeah, it's an official federal government website for everyone who's running for a federal position. Don Beyer has an account there, who's a current U.S. Congressman in Virginia's 8th District. He's a Democrat. I'm an independent. I'm saying that I'm going to do a better job than Don Beyer, and you know I'm right. And I am officially registered with United States House of Representatives. Yeah, with the office of the clerk. I'm officially registered. My name, my candidacy in Virginia's 8th District is officially on record with United States House of Representatives, with the office of the clerk. I am considered an official candidate by United States House of Congress, by Nancy Pelosi, everyone there. I am officially a candidate for the federal position. But Virginia's Democrats, because they know that I am against abortion and that I'm against gay marriage, because I'm a Christian who follows the Bible position, Vatican is also against gay marriage. The Vatican is also against abortion. Georgetown University, as a Catholic university, is officially against abortion and is officially against gay marriage. That's the official position as the Catholic university. So is Notre Dame, so is Boston College, So is Loyola University of Chicago. So is Loyola Marymount University in Los Angeles. So is Villanova University in Pennsylvania. So is St. Joseph's University in Pennsylvania. So is LaSalle University in Pennsylvania. So is University of Scranton in Pennsylvania. All the Catholic universities are officially against abortion and against gay marriage. If you don't like that, leave the Catholic university. You're not welcome. Opposing gay marriage and abortion and trying to force Catholics who believe in the Bible to conform to your system. You're not welcome at Georgetown. You're not welcome at Boston College. It doesn't matter if you're a professor or a staff member or vice president. If you want to force Catholics who believe in the Bible, who follow the Bible position against abortion and gay marriage, and you want to force them to accept them, tolerate them, then you don't belong in a Catholic university. You need to leave. Whether you're a professor or a staff member or vice president, you need to leave. Because you don't represent the values of the university. You don't represent the values of the Catholic Church. You should not be there. I mean, how can you respect yourself if you stay? Excuse me. Go to a university that agrees with your positions, ethical positions. Catholic universities officially follow the Catholic position that gay marriage is wrong and that abortion is wrong, that it's against God's law, that it's against ethics. That's your rule in society. That is also with Marymount University in Arlington. If you don't agree with the Catholic position, you have no right being at Marymount University as a professor or as a president or vice president. You have no right to be there because you're not representing the values of the university. You're not representing the values of the Catholic Church. It's a Catholic school. So you should leave. Yeah. So, I mean, I think I'm saying a logical thing, and I think 330 million Americans watching this show, even if they're not Catholic, are saying, well, yeah, that makes sense. If you don't agree with the position of the university, you should leave. I don't think there's any American who would disagree with that. And because Georgetown University is a Catholic university that opposes gay marriage and homosexuality officially as a Catholic position, if you don't agree with that, you need to leave because you don't represent the values of the university, values of the Catholic Church. You need to leave. It's not a secular university. It's not an atheist university. It's a Catholic university. And if you don't like the Catholic system, you should leave. Why are you there? Right? If you're a student who doesn't like the Catholic position, leave. You know, if you're a Jewish student who think the gay marriage is okay, you should leave Georgetown instead of trying to force yourself and, you know, against the moral and ethical positions of the university. You should leave. You don't belong at Georgetown. Georgetown is a Catholic university with a Catholic value system. If you don't like it, leave. Why don't you go to Yeshiva University? That's a Jewish university. You go to Brandeis University. That's a Jewish university. If you want to oppose the position of the Catholic Church, you should not be at Georgetown. If you want to push gay marriage at Georgetown, you should not be at Georgetown. You should leave. If you want to push abortion at Georgetown, you should leave. You don't belong at Georgetown. It's a Catholic university. It follows the value system of the Catholic Church. You have no right being at Georgetown. Or you have no right being at Boston College or Notre Dame University. You should leave. Obviously, Jesuit universities need to become braver about forcing these people out of the university to protect the Catholic Church. Same with Marymount University. You need to force people out. We're going to push gay marriage and abortion in the university out in order to protect the Catholic faith, to defend the faith. That's why the Society of Jesus exists, to defend the faith. You know how many members of the Society of Jesus were killed because they represented the Christian ethics system? You know how many Jesuit priests were killed in the last several hundred years trying to defend the Christian faith? And you're going to let deans, associate deans, vice presidents push gay marriage and abortion in a Catholic university? Are you kidding me? You need to force them out of your university. You gotta grow a pair, as Americans like to say. You you need to be brave. As the Mexicans say, you have to have cojones. And Israelis say you could have chutzpah. You know, you have to have courage in life. And I'm speaking to you, Jesuit priests, brothers of LaSalle, Dominican priests, Franciscan priests. You need to defend the Christian faith and push out of your colleges those who oppose it. Right? You cannot have internal corruption of Catholic universities. Catholic universities exist to protect the Catholic faith, to help Catholics grow in their faith. That should be your primary mission. And if people are not Catholic and go to Catholic university, they need to respect your Catholic system, even if they don't agree with it. They shouldn't try to subvert it. They need to leave. You need to be braver about this. Maybe this COVID-19 crisis is not a bad thing, because everything has a pause button now, and Catholic leaders at Marymount University, Georgetown University, Boston College, Loyola University of Chicago, Loyola Marymount University in Los Angeles, Villanova University in Philadelphia, all of you have an opportunity to correct the problem in your schools. Because your schools need to be Catholic schools that defend the Catholic value system. This is the right time to do that. Right? God wants you to do that. God paused the time on you. If not now, when? If not now, when? Let's go to Africa. Top COVID-19 cases in Africa. Number one is South Africa with 14,355. I assure you they're not social distancing. BBC had several programs showing how South Africans are not social distancing. Look, they only have 14,355 cases, 261 deaths. Only 2% of the cases are dying, and not too many people are getting it. Because Chinese did not design COVID-19 to kill Africans. They've designed genetically modified a virus, COVID-19, to kill Americans or Europeans. Africans are not Europeans and Americans, right? Egypt is number 2 at 11,719 cases, and their death rate is at 612. Peanuts, 612. It's nothing. And it's 5% of their cases. Algeria has 6,821 cases. Deaths are at 542. So 8% of the cases end up in death. Morocco has 6,741 cases, 192 deaths. 3% of the cases end up in death. Ghana has 5,735 cases, and 29 end up in death. Do you see the comparison? This is what I call social scientific evidence that COVID-19 is a biological weapon meant to target United States and Europe, right? Social scientific. You study societies in order to deduce an understanding of the reality. Yes, I'm nostalgic, I have to say, because I'm a member of Jesus College, Cambridge. Once a member, you're always a member. And as I told you, I wanted to take somebody from Georgetown to Jesus May Ball in June. It's a May Ball, but it happens in June. And introduce them to my friends. Because a lot of people go back for the May Ball. And these are my friends from Jesus College, people that I partied with. Have you seen Lion King? Lion King is a musical, and I saw it in London. I love musicals. I go to West End. to see musicals, and Lion King. It was really fun. I like London West End far more than New York Broadway. 'Cause New York is like, I don't know, everything is so big and you can't even see the sky. But New York is more like a city. It feels like DC. So I really like London, especially West End, and I like The Lion King. I like all musicals, but I really like Lion King. So if you haven't seen Lion King, you could see the musical, through Netflix or, you know, um, yeah. So I definitely watch it. Yeah. The reason that I mentioned the lion is, lion represents the king, right? Royalty. So if you know the book Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe by C.S. Lewis, lion kind of represents the king. And it's like that in many countries. Interestingly enough, our college, Jesus College, has 3 chicken in our emblem. I don't know. I have to study I'm wearing my Jesus College tie. Do you see the 3 chickens? Yeah, so this is my Jesus College tie. I'm a member of Jesus College, and I'm a life member. I'm very proud to be a member of Jesus College. When I was applying to Cambridge University, I was like, please get me into Jesus College. It's like one of the best colleges at Cambridge, has a lot of royalty and nobility. There's like over 20 colleges. Some colleges don't have that many royalty or nobility, but Jesus has a lot of nobility and royalty. And you see before you a lot of people who are nobility and royalty and elites in the British society. Undergraduates tended to be mostly British, although there were some Europeans. Among graduate students doing masters and PhD, we had a lot of Europeans, like royalty. And yeah, I enjoyed my time at Jesus. I got to know everybody in this photo, talk to everybody, dance with most of them. Like everybody's friendly. Um, so if you see the photo below me, I should tell you, they're all undergraduates except for me and Martin. Martin Wood is my best friend. He's royalty. He went to Martin Wood. He did his bachelor's at Glasgow University, and he did his PhD in chemistry, and he's royalty, Scottish royalty. And he's, you see him in the photo on the bottom with me, Martin, and an undergraduate who's like a British lord, um, like a nobility. I think most of them, if not all of them, are like royal nobles, at least nobles or royals. Yeah, Jesus is a lot of nobles and royals. And so, I mean, I got in because of my brain. My brain gets me in everywhere. Like a lot of my American friends, they can't get into these like colleges with royals and nobles. But anyway, yeah, if you apply to Cambridge, apply to Jesus College. It's a lot of nobles and royals, so definitely worth it if you could get in. It's hard to get in. Anyway, the 2 girls there, I think they're both nobles, English nobles or Scottish or Welsh or Northern Irish nobles. But anyway, they're really nice. They're smart, they're polished. And I remember that night because Martin Wood, he's wearing the tuxedo with a bow tie, like red and I guess blue, mixed in bow tie. Martin Wood and I, we don't go to like every party at Jesus. Because undergraduates, they throw a party like every Friday. Martin and I, we go to every single one. Just him and me, like all the other graduate students are so lame, and they're like, they're, they don't like partying that much, I guess, just like drinking. But, Martin and I, we like to party, so we go. I like dancing, so I go and these 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds are trying to keep up with me because I'm like really good at dancing. So it's a good exercise. It's a cardiovascular exercise, and I generally dance like for hours straight, without a stop. Yeah, I mean, ask Lauren Elwell. She's in my program, Clinical Nurse Leader, and she's a Lutheran, Evangelical Lutheran Church of America. She did like 1-year missionary thing, I share, like, I have a lot of friends who are Evangelical Lutheran Church of America, like Eugene Zeiser. He's a reverend now. He went to Philadelphia Seminary, married Erica from Germany, and has been a senior pastor of Evangelical Lutheran Church of America Church, ELCA Church in Fisterville, Pennsylvania. His father is a U.S. Naval Academy graduate, and he grew up in Delaware. Yeah, so Lauren Elwell, she's a Lutheran, and she saw me dance. She's great. I love Lauren Elwell. She's great. Nice person. And I love all my clinical nurse leader cohort members, all 25, 26 of them. And we're starting again on Monday, so I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, but Lauren see me dancing, Lauren Elwell. She's from Minnesota, and she's great. I mean, she's so fun. I wish we had more time at clinical nurse leader. We would have hung up more. But it's an intense program. I tell you, it's very, very intense. But anyway, like we partied together. Like her boyfriend, or her boyfriend's best friend. They all live in the same house. Her boyfriend's best friend. They are working at NIH, National Institute of Health, and I think they're all her boyfriend or her boyfriend's friend are from Michigan, I think. But anyway, yeah. So they came and partied at the 2019 graduate students boat cruise. I was like 2018, because I was the executive board member, vice president of graduate student government, GradGov, from 2019 to 2020. And we had a boat cruise, and it was a lot of fun. Maybe I'll share photos from that sometime. It was so much fun. It was complete success. We sold out. Yeah, and but this was before. That was this year. This academic year, 2019, 2020. That's when I'm the vice president of Georgetown University Graduate Student Government. But during the 2018 to 2019 academic year, that was my first year at Georgetown. I'm in a 2-year program, master's program. We just met our cohort members, and there was this boat cruise. So, I tried to get everybody to go, and Lauren Elwell came with her boyfriend, her boyfriend's friend, and we were just partying away. It was so much fun. Yeah, she's a good dancer, so it was a lot of fun, just having fun, and so yeah, so ask Lauren if you know Lauren. Yeah, she knows how I party, how I dance. Yeah. So, when I was at Jesus College, I was at Jesus College 5 years, in Cambridge 5 years. I'm a member of Jesus College. I go back anytime. And, I used to go to party with Martin, who's the only other graduate student who used to party with all these undergraduates. And they threw the parties, these undergraduates threw the parties, and every party was so good, so fun. So I remember the night when she wore that outfit and danced. Um, I just like, I'm like a cool guy, an alpha male. And I shared with you that I was elected as one of the 20 quintessential Cambridge University student in the Cambridge Student, which is a student newspaper. They elect, they have an annual thing where they choose like the 20 it people. And they're generally like billionaires or royalty or nobility or, and they look like models, all of them, right? And they're like generally like 2018 to 22. And I got nominated and then chosen. And I was like the only non-white person. And I was the only one like above 22. Oh my gosh, people love me at Cambridge. I'm a legend at Cambridge. Everybody knows me. You ask any one of these Jesus College students about me, they're going to tell you I'm a legend. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you don't get elected to be one of the 28 people at happening people at Cambridge University if you're not cool. I'm very cool. I'm an alpha male. Wherever I go, I'm an alpha male. So Yeah, so I was an alpha male at Jesus College, Cambridge, and I went to every single party, every single one. I did not miss even one party. Yeah, and Martin, he tried to keep up with me, you know. But I'll tell you about the night when when she wore that outfit. Oh, she's really pretty, a very polished English major, very smart. Um, Claire is her name, and that night, they're dancing like that. So, and the music was good, and I start dancing, and then I kind of moved closer to dance with them. You know how it is. It's like a, Jesus College undergraduates built a whole new dance building right by my my dormitory. Oh my gosh, it's so fun. They're like billionaires, right? So we generally had dancing and party on the top floor, uh, which was a part of the like a dining building, and that was like far away. I have to like walk across the Jesus College lawn to get there. It was so inconvenient for me. And I think like these undergraduates, they love me, right? And I go to party with them, and they enjoy partying with me. I don't know who got the idea, but like after first year, like they built an actual building just for dancing with a complete bar. Because in England you start drinking at 18, so every single one of them can drink. So they have a lot of alcohol at these dance parties, because drinking age is over 18. Everybody was over 18, and so they built a complete building from scratch. Like there was nothing there. They built the building and a bar in the building and a big dance floor. It was like right across from where I lived at Jesus College, like where the graduate housing was. So I lived among the graduate students in graduate housing, and undergraduates lived in undergraduate housing, which was like closer to like inside the like everything is inside the campus, but like they were more central. We're like a little bit on the outer side of Jesus College campus. So they built the whole building for me. I mean, I don't know if it was for me. They didn't say it was for me, but they built it right in my backyard. You cycle takes me like one minute to walk there. Generally, it took me 10 minutes to walk to where the party was. Uh, so I'm not complaining. So that night, we're in this place, and so she's dancing, so I'm just kind of dancing and moving closer to her, to both of them. But I liked the one in the back, Claire. She was prettier and taller than her. And so, all of them are, I think, mostly Christians. Yeah, most of them are Christians. It's in England, European countries, most people are Christians. Um, and so I started going and dancing with her. I mean, I started going toward her and dancing with her. So I kind of went kind of behind her and started dancing. And the girl in black dress, I forgot her name. I mean, I was more interested in Claire. I mean, obviously, she probably knows my name, but I can't remember all the names. So because I've known all of them, but it's I mean, selective memory. So so she would start dancing, and she start leaning back towards me. So kind of her back was like touching my belly, kind of, but barely touching. And I'm like, which direction should I go? I mean, I could like kind of dance with her, holding her belly. And I've done that with some people. And there's certain music where you do that too. Uh, but the song was like lean back, lean back. You know the song? Lean back. Yeah, I don't know if you know the song, but there's a song called Lean Back. And that's like they repeat that word, lean back. I forgot which song it was. So I'm like, it would be kind of weird for me to just kind of hold her and dance like, in that style to that song that goes lean back. So what I did is I started leaning back. So like her back is kind of barely touching my belly, and she's leaning back, and I'm leaning back. So both of us are leaning back to this song that says lean back, lean back. And so like literally, I was like almost perpendicular from the floor. Like, you know, my knees. I mean, I had to try to carry all of my weight on my two knees, right? Because I was like almost like, you know, like my body, my upper torso was perpendicular to my lower extremities, the lower leg, because I was bending at the knee almost, but I don't think I was at like 90 degrees. I was probably more like, you know, maybe 45 degrees or like 120, 25 degrees, 140, 35 degrees from the floor. I mean, from the vantage point of my knees, if knees were my axis. But I was like, so I wasn't like this to give you a visual. I wasn't like this. If this is my knee and my lower leg, I was probably more like that. So I was dancing like, oh yeah, let me give you a visual here. So I'm dancing like this. I maybe I could use Amy, Amy and Bob. So this is Bob. Say hello to Bob. This is Amy. Say hello to Amy. So we're dancing like this. And then she's like leaning back. So we're dancing like this. And then she's leaning back. And I'm leaning back. And then we're like dancing like that. Lean back. Lean back. So it was like, you know, like I can't turn my hand around, but let's say, you know, we're not facing each other. Let's just say this is Claire with her back, and this is Heerak with his back. So we're kind of facing the same direction, right? Her back is to my front, and she's leaning back. And I'm leaning back. Yeah, so we're dancing like that. So you can imagine. I can open this Coca-Cola bottle. Let me use. Okay, that's better. Coke. Oh, it's like over 80 degrees now, so it's kind of warmer. So I need more soda. Took a stroll today. It was really nice. I mean, flowers are blooming in Arlington. I took some photos of the flowers that I saw and I posted them up on the Twitter page. So go check them out. You know, April showers bring Mayflower. It's true. Yeah. So yeah. So that was that night. I remember that night. I'm sure every one of them remembers because every one of them were there, and they kind of like, you know, stopped what they're doing and saw us. You know, she was like one of the prettiest girls at Jesus College, undergraduate, uh, and you know, she liked me too, and you know, I liked her. So you know, in party at the times, you know, we do like fun stuff like that. Oh, so fun. But anyway, yeah. And then next to her, you know, the one who's wearing the angel outfit, she's really nice too. You know, we talked a lot, and during the party time, sometimes we'll like come dance, and she's, you know, she's funny, you know. And then her friend dressed up like a demon. So one of the great things about England, I guess I should say England, at Jesus College, is they have a lot of these theme parties. So one day they had a theme party when it was like school theme party. So in England, everybody goes with an outfit, like a uniform. So the guys have a uniform, girls have a uniform. So when they're in college, they have these parties called school party. And so the guys would wear their uniform and girls would wear their uniform. You know, it's kind of like, you know, Britney Spears, you know, one of her videos, Baby Hit Me One More Time. She's wearing a uniform. I guess like a Catholic school uniform or something. So in Britain, everybody wears a uniform. from what I understand. So they have this party where they come in a uniform. Do I have any photos of the uniform party here? I'll try to find some, so you know what I mean. Um, excuse me for a sec. I'm still suffering from like seasonal allergies. I guess it's like April, May, June, early June. So yeah, so so it's fun. And then next to that, you have a bunch of people, the girls, like everybody from the college party. It's like a college party, so generally everybody from college is there, and we're kind of particular. We don't always invite people. It's like a college party, so everybody in the college party together. It's like a big family. Sometimes outsiders come, but rarely. It's like an in-house thing. It's a lot of fun. And then next to that is a Welsh girl. She was very active in the Christian Union at Jesus. I really liked her. She's fun. The girl with the purple hat. Yeah, she's from Wales, and she was always like bubbly and friendly, and she was good Christian. Like a good example for everyone, and people loved her. And also she was like very active in Christian Union. Jesus College Christian Union had like 40 members. And she was like really, really active there. So she's there with a friend. And then you see the photo next to that, I'm with Patrick James, the classicist. He was active in Jesus College Christian Union as well. And he's like some kind of lord or noble guy. And he's a very good Christian. He's into classical studies. He's a nice guy. I liked him. And then next to that are like several, ladies. I think they're all like nobility. Oh, I don't know. I like the polished, noble women, and they were like all basically polished noble women. I don't know. I kind of like that. So um, underneath the four women, you have the two demons, right, or two devils. And the girl there, she was UKIP. Do you know what UKIP is? UKIP is United Kingdom Independence Party. And, so I had an interesting conversation with her about that because it's a very conservative party. It's like, like Trump says, make America great again. Like, that's like an American nationalism. UKIP is like a British nationalism. Like, and they wanted to be separate from European Union from the very beginning. And their party formed because of that. United Kingdom Independence Party. They wanted to be independent from Europe. They're very conservative. So maybe they're more like Freedom Caucus kind of thing among the GOP. So they're like very conservative, but they actually formed a party. So apart from the conservatives, British conservatives. And she was like UKIP. And so I had a nice conversation with her about it. And she must be very happy now because, Brexit, now Britain is free. Her dream has come true. And the photo next to that, the cat, oh, she's so cute. I remember that night I went, it was in the house. So that wasn't actually a party in that newly created party place. It was like a house party. So a bunch of, I guess like seniors threw a house party in their, house where they were living together, which was part of Jesus College House, but it was like kind of off campus, because like, I think they put some seniors there because, they have limited housing inside the college. And so they had this big party. And it was like a custom party. And so she was dressed up like a cat. She was really cute. So I danced with her a little bit and talked to her, and yeah, so I remember that night. Um, and then the three girls there, they're really friendly. And then, oh yeah, I think that was like a Christmas party or it was like a Christmas time. I'm wearing like Christmas hat. It was like some big rugby guy, like a very popular guy, Jesus. I was friends with him. He has a really pretty girlfriend. I don't see her there. Oh yeah, she's not from Jesus College. I think she's from a different college. So yeah, like I saw her like in special events, but I think he might have hung, so she wasn't always there. But yeah. Oh, and then the photo next to her. Oh, I love her. Her name is Catherine, and she was a medical student. So in United Kingdom, they start their medical school in college. It's kind of like nursing school. You have a BSN program, right? You graduate from high school and you start Bachelor of Science in Nursing. In 4 years, you become a nurse. In United Kingdom, they have a medical program, which is 6 years, and you start uh, right out of high school. So Catherine, I believe she's from Scotland. She's like a lady from Catherine. I used to call her Lady Catherine. And so, isn't she pretty? I was like telling her, "Oh, you're like pretty like Button," you know. We became close enough that I could say that. So, yeah, Harry's like staring at me. Do you understand this look? What does this mean? He's like looking at me with those eyes. But anyway, yeah. So Lady Catherine, she's so adorable. Oh, she's so cute. And she's such a friendly and nice person with a good heart. She wants to help people. That's why she wants to be a doctor. And so she was like a first year medical school student at Cambridge, and it's like a 6-year program. You come in like at age 18, and 6 years later, you become a doctor. So in America, we do 4 years of college and then 4 years of medical school, and 8 years become a doctor. So, and you have to apply to medical school after taking the MCAT. In Britain, you just go straight in, which I think is a better system, to be honest with you. Yeah, I love Lady Catherine. She was so friendly and nice. She's the kind of, like, when you think of a British lady, she's the kind of person you think about. I mean, you know how you have a stereotypical good-hearted British lady who's like a noblewoman, who owns everything, who's wealthy and has title and land, and she also has a good heart. Like in Jane Austen novels. I love Jane Austen's books, like Mansfield Park, Pride and Prejudice. She is like that. She is like one of these stereotypical, epitomized British like noblewoman. I'm like, whoa, this is like out of Jane Austen's novel. I loved England. I loved England because of all these noble women, and like I felt like I was in a chapter of Pride and Prejudice. I just loved England, especially the ladies. And then in the center, um, it's a different party. So I think she's wearing a nurse's outfit, whereas in the other photo she was wearing like an angel's outfit. Yeah, everybody's so fun. And the girl next to that, she had like this serious boyfriend, and they're such a cute couple. She was really nice. I liked her. Oh, and the woman next to me, her name is Charlotte Hudson. So we call her Charlie for short. And she was very active in the Christian Union. And I really liked her. She's Charlie. I thought she was beautiful. I don't know. I mean, what do you think? I think she's beautiful. So I really liked her. And she's like a really good Christian, and very active in the Christian Union. And she seemed very popular. I think she was royalty. Um, yeah, I mean, I don't know the British society too well, but I think she was royalty. But yeah, I like Charlie Hudson. Yeah. Anyway, going to the photo on the bottom, do you see Charlie on the other side of the photo? Charlie? Uh, and yeah, she also kind of, I talked to her a lot, and she actually said she went to like a normal public school, sixth form, she said. And, you know, I mean, I have to confess, she didn't seem to have a like Oxbridge accent, like that stuck up British formal accent, like speaking like the Queen. I love that, like when British women speak with that Oxbridge accent, like Queen's English. I love that. It just makes me melt. She didn't have that, so that was like her only flaw. Like she's like, but she's like so nice and so kind, and yeah, I liked her a lot. Um, and then in the middle photo, we called him Will. He reminded me of of a wilder Prince William. Because some of them were friends with Prince William and Prince Harry. Prince Harry was going to come to Cambridge. He was accepted at Trinity College, Cambridge, I believe, and then he ended up going to Sandhurst. But they're nobles and royalty, so these are like friends of Harry and William. Not all of them, but some of them, and they run in the same social circles. And so, so they're fun and they're pretty. I mean, this is what I mean. They're these British royals and nobles. They're like billionaires or multimillionaires, right? I mean, they own like a whole shire. Some of them, like they own a whole state, and they collect rent and stuff like that, right? So they have a lot of money. So they have they're wealthy. They have titles, and look how pretty they are. This is what I mean. Remember on a previous episode, I shared with you about British royals and nobles, they're being perfect in every way. I'm not kidding you. And look at these photos. I mean, geez. I mean, the two girls next to Will, they both are kind of don't they both kind of look perfect? Like the one in the left is from Scotland. She's like a nobility from Scotland. And the girl next to Will, other side, she's from England. They're both really pretty. They're both 6'1" or 2", tall and pretty. Yeah, I mean, geez, I love Cambridge. I love Jesus College. All these beautiful women who are Christians who speak Queen's English, have titles, and they're wealthy and they're intelligent. I'm like these perfect people walking around, all over Cambridge. Yeah, I have tears in my eyes because I miss Cambridge, or the women in Cambridge. Yeah. Yeah, guys, I don't really care about, I'm a heterosexual, I should have married one of them, I'm maybe Charlie Hudson, she's pretty, or Lady Catherine. I don't know what I was thinking. I was spending 15 hours in the library studying Jewish studies, except when I'm partying with them on Friday nights. Yeah, I mean, I work hard, I party hard, But when I'm not partying with them, I'm working in the library. I should have invested more time on a relationship with Lady Catherine. She liked me too. I'm what am I doing? Researching Jewish studies. Because for me, Jewish studies is a passion. University of Pennsylvania did a 2-page alumni news or 1-page alumni news on me when I was at Hebrew University of Jerusalem. Because, I'm one of the best experts on Jewish history in the world. So when I was a visiting research fellow at Hebrew University, University of Pennsylvania alumni magazine, the Gazette, did our distinguished alumni page on me. Because I'm one of these experts of Jews in the world. Obviously, I didn't get to be one of the greatest experts of Jewish studies in the world by not researching Judaism and Jewish history. So when I was at Cambridge, I'm seriously researching during the day, and at night I'm partying. But yeah, I think I should invest in more time, maybe during the day, having lunch with Catherine. I mean, I think I could have married her. I think, I think it's about investing time and energy. My priorities were Jewish studies. I love Jewish studies so much. I devoted most of my day to Jewish studies, when I should have been probably devoting my time to Lady Catherine or Charlie or Claire. I would have probably married one of them. Yeah, I guess I do have regrets in life. I thought I didn't have any regrets in life, but now that I'm talking with you, maybe I do have regrets. I don't know. Actually, I don't have regrets because I'm running to be U.S. Congressman in Virginia State District, Arlington, Alexandra Falls Church, and Fairfax County to save you and help you. And I wouldn't be here if I had married one of these landed gentry in Britain. I would have been very, very happy. And that's a selfish thing to do. Maybe I should have done the selfish thing, but I would have been in England. I would not have come to America. I would have taught Jewish history at Cambridge and stayed there, with my lovely wife and my lovely children and my new title. And look at Lady Catherine. Isn't she like cute as a button? I mean, literally, you know. And look at Charlie Hudson. I mean, Charlie is beautiful, right? Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. I mean, I guess it was rational because had I married Charlie or like Lady Catherine or Claire, and I lived in England, I would have just done Jewish studies, right? I would have started teaching Jewish studies at Cambridge or Oxford, and I would have done the rest of my life. So I guess it was rational for me to focus on Jewish studies, but that was a while ago, long time ago. A lot has changed since then. But anyway, COVID-19 has hit America now, and I'm trying to save people from COVID-19 as a nurse. So, but I haven't given up on Jewish studies. I'm presenting papers in Jewish studies. I presented in like 2019. I was going to present in 2020. Yeah, but they're all old now. They're like outside of my age range, 18 to 26. So, and they're probably all married, all beautiful and married with some amazing people. Yeah. But anyhow, I've always dated people from 18 to 26, starting from when I was 18. So, my age changed. And I'm going to be totally honest with you because there's no point lying to you. Because, there's no secrets in the world. It's going to come out anyway. Especially in COVID-19, with increasing surveillance, everyone's going to know everything about everybody. Yeah, when I was 18, I liked to date 18-year-olds to 26. When I was 26, I liked to date 18 to 26. When I was, older, my range of women I wanted to date was always 18 to 26, and it remained the same. Even now, I date women who are 18 to 26 primarily. I mean, if some woman is amazingly beautiful and older than 26, I may consider dating her, maybe. But that. So it's not like my age range changes. I mean, once I marry, I don't believe in divorce because I believe that when Jesus said, "Don't get divorced," he was being serious, and St. Paul reiterated that. So whoever I marry, I will stay with her rest of my life, rest of her life. So had I married, my first serious girlfriend at age 17, Alice Shim Jiyoungi, she's like a Samsung billionaire's daughter that I dated. She paid for everything because I'm like a poor pastor's kid. I had no money at 17. So she paid for everything. Alice. Uh, and I didn't really feel bad. I don't have any problem women paying for me. I mean, I feel, I don't feel the desire to be smarter than the girl or more powerful than the girl or wealthier than the girl. I feel totally comfortable with women who are much smarter than me. It's hard to find now, but when I was younger, um, I feel perfectly fine dating women who are billionaires. I have no problem with that, And so, yeah, if they want to pay for my stuff, I have no problem. You know, they do it out of love. I'll receive it out of love. I have no. I'm not going to let pride get in the way of a beautiful romance or relationship. So Alice Sim, she was like, billionaire. She had like thousands of dollars left to spare. Like, so she'll take me out and stuff, take me on trips, like I remember she took me on a date at Hyatt Regency, I think, in San Francisco. Oh my gosh. Even to this day, that's like the best place I've eaten it because she took me there and I had like the most expensive thing on the menu, uh, which was like a lobster. And it was like, the chef must have been like French or was like, I've never had a lobster like that before or ever since. I'm in quest of that quality lobster. They prepared the lobster and they had like, I think it was a baked lobster, and they had some kind of French sauce and stuffing. Oh, it was heavenly. And then we had souffle. Oh my gosh. And Alice, she went to the international school in South Korea. You know, her father's like a Samsung billionaire. So she went to international school or American school in Seoul. And then she got accepted to Smith College. That's where like the Kennedy's wife went to. Was it Kennedy's wife? Jacqueline Onassis went to Smith. Yeah, but anyway, a lot of you know, society women went to Smith. So she went to Smith. So I met her at University of California, Berkeley. Right after she graduated, she was taking a 10-week intensive class, I think in French. And I was taking a 10-week intensive class in Latin. And I just finished my freshman year at Penn at the University of Pennsylvania. And, I was a history major and classical studies minor. And she had just graduated from the international school in Seoul. And she was going to start at Smith College in the fall. And then, she for some reason she liked me. I actually initially liked the most beautiful woman in the dormitory there. She was Chinese from Stanford, freshman. She's like the most beautiful woman I've seen, like who's Asian. And she ran track and cross country for Stanford. She must have been like 100 pounds, 110 pounds, 5'8". I think she's like either Taiwanese or Chinese, amazingly beautiful. So, so I was like, oh my gosh, it was like love at first sight. And she was so pretty and amazing, and so smart and pretty and beautiful. So, so I started to pursue her, because I generally go after the most beautiful women, wherever I am. So I started to pursue her, and and um, and so I got to a stage where I was able to isolate her, and her best friend was Alice Sim, who was actually right next door to me in the dormitory, because we had a mixed dorm. So I was with, get this, he is a son of a chief was it Nigeria, like Hebrew tribe. He was like, his father is the chief. He's like, and he went to St. Mary's College in San Francisco. It's African, obviously. And he was my roommate. And he and I were there, and it was really serious because like chief, and he was going to take over his father's position. And I think his father's like a billionaire in Africa, like an oil billionaire or something like that. And so, and Alice was like next door with like a high school senior from Los Angeles who wanted to go to Stanford, and so she was doing a summer thing there, or maybe she was a junior. Either junior or senior. I think she might have been junior because she was trying to use this to get into Stanford. But anyway, yeah. So I isolated this beautiful Californian Stanford freshman who ran track and cross country for Stanford. Amazingly beautiful. And her best friend, who was Alice Sim, Jiangyi, Shim Jiang. And then, I just grabbed a random guy because it was like two girls, so there had to be two guys. I don't remember who I grabbed. It wasn't my roommate because my roommate always went home during the weekend. He stayed with his like aunt, so he was never around during the weekend. And so yeah, I just grabbed a random guy, that I knew. And then we're walking, and I was going to make a move on this Chinese woman. She's amazing, right? And so I'm like walking and trying to talk to her. So I'm walking toward her, And then Alice intercepted me and started talking to me. And I'm like a nice guy, so I'm not gonna like brush aside and go to talk to her even if I wanted to. So I start kind of talking to Alice, and I'm walking with Alice. And my other guy, my male friends, like talking to the Chinese girl. Alice is Korean, obviously. Um, and Alice is like grabbing my arm. And I'm like, what are you doing? You know, I'm like brushing her arm away because like I had no feelings for her at that time because I wanted the Chinese girl. And I'm like, what is this girl doing? You know, like grabbing my arm. So I'm like brushing her arm away. I'm like, and I'm like so totally focused on the Chinese girl. And I'm like, how can I get myself to get to her, you know? That I was like, but I was like kind of talking to Alice. You know how, I don't know if you've ever been in that situation. And then she's like grabbing my arm. And I'm like, man, why is she grabbing my arms? I'm like brushing her arm aside. And then, you know, and then that happened, you know. I'm like, this night is done, you know. And I think she knew the Chinese girl looked back and saw Alice grabbing my arm. I'm like, no, this is not going to happen. You know how it is, you know. But you know, Alice is like so smart, and that was like the first week of the program. Alice is like, no wonder father's a billionaire. You know, she's like so smart. She got the whole floor in the dormitory. You used to do like things together as a dorm, like the whole floor, the weekends. She got whole dorm to like organize something so that she and I could be alone. Is that weird? I mean, I still think about it. I'm like, how did she do that? So, so you know, we went to an ice skating rink at Berkeley. I don't, you know, we walked down the hill. One thing I hated about Berkeley is you walk down the hill, you walk up the hill. I hated that. But so at Berkeley, and we walked down the hill, and we went to ice skating, and I didn't know how to ice skate. She did, and I was like trying to learn how to ice skate, and she tried to help me a little bit. I'm still kind of thinking about the Chinese girl, you know, but I'm like, it's probably done. I think it was the same week, maybe. Because I think we just took the walk like on an evening. No, it was a weekend, so it must have been Friday night, and maybe ice skating was Saturday night. I don't remember exactly the sequence, but you know, um, so so we went ice skating, and then afterwards we were gonna meet for dinner. So our dorm RA, residential advisor, she was pretty. She was like 6'2". She looked like a model, but she was like a senior at Berkeley. I think she was either a senior or graduate student, and she was really pretty. Everybody had a crush on her, all the guys. And so we went to the ice skating rink, and then afterwards we're gonna all meet back at a restaurant in the area that was pointed out. So after ice skating, you know, Alice kind of helped me with ice skating because she knew how to do it. I couldn't. Alice and I, we started walking towards that restaurant. So we went to the restaurant and we looked, and nobody was there. We're like, where is everybody? You know, uh, so like Alice and I are waiting and waiting, and nobody's coming. So we're like, oh, that's really strange. Um, so Alice is like kind of looking at me, and she's not really saying anything. So I'm like, we've been waiting for like 15 minutes, and nobody showed up. So I'm like, you sure this is where we're supposed to meet? And I was like, yeah, nobody's here. And oh, it wasn't dinner. We were supposed to meet together there for dessert or something because we had dinner before ice skating rink. But anyway, so we're like, um, I don't know. Alice and I got separated because we all went to the ice rink together. And somehow, did Alice need to do something and needed help? And I went out to help her. And then, I don't know, somehow we got separated from the group. And then we were supposed to meet at this place. So Alice and I went there. I don't remember how we got separated. And then we went to the group and to the meeting point, and no one was coming. So eventually I'm like, Alice, maybe we should walk back up because nobody's here. You know, maybe they went somewhere else. So, so like, okay, so Alice and I were like walking back, and so we're walking back and talking, and I don't know, like she kind of looked really kind of cute under the moonlight, and we're like walking, and I don't know, we start talking, and then I don't know, something happened while we were walking. I don't know if we held hands or I don't know exactly what happened, but I think there was like physical contact. I think we might have held hands or something. I don't exactly remember what happened. It was like a little fuzzy. And then we went back to the dorm, and so she and I are there, and um oh, this yeah, I think I'm forgetting things. I think when four of us walked, I think that was during a weekday and I think this was on a Friday, and that was the first week. And so that's the week that I found out that Mamimo goes to his aunt during the weekend because it was the first week. I didn't know that. So Friday, he didn't come to ice skating with us, and I didn't know why, but um, I think it was in the library when we left for. He wasn't in the dorm room when we left for the building. He might have been studying at the library, and it was the first week of our summer school, and so when I came back, I thought I was gonna find Mamimo there because he's always there every day during the week, and he wasn't there. So Alice and I are there, and I was like saying, Alice, I don't know why Mamimo was not here. And Alice is like, well, maybe we should go and ask, our residential advisor. And I'm like, do you think she's back? I'm like, she probably is. So we went to the residential advisor, and we knocked on the door, and there was a condom hanging from her doorknob. And I'm like, that's strange. There's like a condom hanging from the doorknob. And Alice is like kind of giggling. And then we walked back, and she and I went into our room, my room. And we just started talking. We played some music. Then, yeah, and then, I guess I should hide some of the facts, And then, we ended up, yeah, and I think there is some facts I need to like black out at this point. Um, to to skip through several events, we ended up like kissing, and then I guess that's when we became like boyfriend and girlfriend. But we were there for like hours, Yeah, I mean it was like strange. And then like once we became like boyfriend and girlfriends, like whenever I saw her, she was like the most prettiest person in the world. It was weird, like because I distinctly remember thinking like she's not that pretty. Like when I first saw her, that was my first impression. But like after we became boyfriends and girlfriends, like, she was like looked really pretty to me. So like like the most beautiful person in the world. It was like really weird, like how your perception changed. And then I guess my first impression was right because I'm Christian, so I brought her to my church. That's what I do. I'm gonna bring my girlfriend to church. Yeah, I didn't tell the pastor that it's my girlfriend because all the Koreans know everybody. I just say, I just brought somebody from church, from school, and I rode a BART from Berkeley all the way to his church in San Jose. It was like an hour-long ride. And Alice didn't want to come after that. I mean, I go to church every Sunday, but 1 hour BART ride from UC Berkeley to San Jose. But anyway, so I took her to church, and then I found out later from my mom that the pastor's wife called my mom and told her, "Here I brought this ugly girl." And I'm like, I was like, look at my mom when she told me. I said, she's not ugly, she's pretty. And she's like, well, that's what the pastor's wife told me. I'm like, Yeah, but anyway, I was like, but I don't know. My first impression was that she wasn't that pretty, but like once we start dating, she looked really beautiful. So I don't know. I mean, it just it's a little bit weird. So I don't know. Maybe like something happened cognitively because because I had feelings for her. I don't know. It's kind of I didn't have feelings and then I developed feelings. It was really weird stage of my life. I don't think I've experienced that ever since. But yeah, that was such a weird experience because I was just crazy about her, all throughout. And then she was talking about us getting married, how I should talk to her billionaire, like her Samsung executive father. And she's like, my father will not approve of you. I'm like, what? She's like, yeah, I mean, you need to talk to him in a certain way or we won't be able to get married. I'm like, oh. So she was coaching me on how to talk to her father. I was, I mean, I would have married her, it didn't work out because once she went back to Korea, we kind of, I guess like I, anyway, I guess, we did digress. So maybe I'll continue that story some other time. But yeah, let's go back to Jesus College, Cambridge. So from when I was 17 yeah, so the point was, when I was 17, she was 17, because I went to University of Pennsylvania when I was 17. Um, um, so when I was like 18, I dated women who was like 18, to 26. And even now I date women who's 18 to 26 because that's the range that I date. I'm an alpha male, so I don't have any problem dating women between 18 to 26 anywhere in the world. Um, so, hopefully I get married to one of these ones that I date. Uh, I start a good Christian family, a lot of children, at least minimum 4, hopefully. Which I guess work out because, to have 4 children, it's not easy if she's outside of the 18 to 26 range. Yeah, we'll see, but I guess I should have paid more time and energy to like dating and at Cambridge when I was there at Jesus College. I'm there like, oh, amazing, I, my love of Jewish studies has ruined my life. No, it didn't ruin my life. I love Jewish studies. I don't regret researching Jewish studies. I just think I should have probably more focused on relationships at that time than I did. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I mean, I could have been married to Charlie or Lady Catherine or Claire. Those were like my 3 top choices at that time. Yeah, but anyway. Oh, and also the Welsh girl. She's really cute too. So yeah, actually, I guess we'll have more than like 3 people in the top list, and they're all like beautiful. So yeah. But anyway, yeah, it's good reminiscing. I'll see all of them. That's why I want to. That's why I wanted to go to like May Ball in June. I mean, because many of them come back. I mean, not every year maybe, but I could have meet up with some of them and get the news on everyone else. Ah, I miss these guys. They're like really fun, and they're especially their Queen's English British accent. I love it. But anyway, yeah. Anyway, thumbs up for Jesus College and people at Jesus College. I look forward to seeing all of you. When I become a U.S. congressman, maybe I'll just like find a way to invite everybody for dinner. That way, catch up on everybody. Oh, they're all so nice. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So Don Beyer and Ralph Northam, both Democrats, they seem to be playing dirty politics, trying to block me out of the ballot box. So, I do need your help to get on the Virginia ballot box. I'm official federal candidate, registered with Federal Election Commission and United States House of Representatives. But Virginia state, it's a state with own state laws. And under Virginia state law, there has to be 1,000 signatures that are collected and submitted by June 9th. June 9th is the deadline, so we still have time, but 1,000 signatures have to be submitted by June 9th to be on the ballot within Virginia, because Virginians vote. for U.S. Congress. So because Ralph Northam issued a stay-at-home order on March 30th, that is to last till June 10th. That's the whole period when I'm supposed to be collecting 1,000 signatures, which I cannot anymore because there's a stay-at-home order that makes it illegal for me to collect signatures and submit it by June 9th. So I wrote to first the Federal Election Commission, not Federal Election Commission because they recognize me as an official candidate. But I wrote to Virginia State Board of Elections saying that please waive this requirement for 1,000 signatures because Governor Northam issued the stay-at-home order on March 30th to last till June 10th. And I need to submit this by June 9th. So please, waive this, right? And I wrote this letter as soon as Governor Northam issued the stay-at-home order. I sent the letter off on June 30th through a registered mail. I didn't get any replies back. So I called, left messages, I emailed, and then I sent them another letter, and I finally got a letter back that is dated May 5th, after May, like around May 10th. Like over a month later. And the Virginia Board of Elections, Commissioner Chip Piper wrote back, and you could read his, letter on my Twitter page. And he said, I don't have the legal authority to grant you that waiver. I'm like, geez, you should have let me know earlier. You could have written back in March. Or April. I wrote on March 30th. You could have written a letter back like on April 5th. You don't have to wait until May 5th to write me a letter, So telling me this. So I sent out a letter to Virginia Governor Ralph Northam, who's the head person in Virginia. So he has the legal authority. So I wrote the letter to him and saying, on like April 10th, and you can read it on my Twitter page, saying, please give me a waiver because you have the legal authority. So I'm waiting back for that letter. I haven't heard back yet. Excuse me. So, but it seems like Governor Northam and Don Beyer, Don Beyer, who's the U.S. Congressman I'm running against, they're both Democrats. They're doing this like old boys network to block me out of Virginia's ballot box. And this dirty politics, but that's how old boys network works, right? And I think, Don Beyer, the U.S. Congressman in Virginia's 8th District, is afraid that he will lose to me, and that's why he's playing this dirty politics, So we'll see, But if you could like contact, Don Beyer and Virginia Governor Ralph Northam and pressure them to get me this waiver. Don Beyer should be a man and beat me fair and square on the ballot box. Let's not play dirty like this. Like I'm an official candidate for U.S. Congress with Federal Election Commission. I'm also registered with United States House of Representatives as an official candidate for Virginia's 8th District. And Governor Northam issued a stay-at-home order on March 30th to last to June 10th, making it impossible for me to collect 1,000 signatures. It's only fair and right that Governor Northam give me a waiver on that requirement, given the situation, right? Given the fact that he issued an executive order making it illegal for me to collect signatures door to door. So yeah, please write to Governor Northam, call him, email him, let him know that he should give me a waiver. You need me in U.S. Congress to fight COVID-19 for you. And you know that I'm the leader that you need, you and your children. So yeah, I'm helping you. Help me contact Governor Northam. Yeah, to get that waiver for me. Yeah, so I'm counting on you guys, okay? So I hope you'll do that. I hope you enjoyed today's show and learned something new that's going to help you survive COVID-19, you and your children, because that's the reason why I created this show. And that's the reason why I'm running for Congress, to help you and your family survive and thrive. Not only COVID-19, but a lot of other things that you're facing. Vote for me on November 3rd, 2020. Get me on that ballot, in Virginia's ballot. Deadline is November 9th. June 9th, to get the waiver. But sooner the better, right? Geez, don't have a cliffhanger here. I sent the letter out to Governor Virginia Northam. He needs to let me know right away. And so, just give me a waiver, and contact Virginia Governor Northam to let him know that that's what he should do. Anyway, I hope that you enjoyed today's show, and that you will be more knowledgeable as a result of COVID-19 Update by Heerak Daily Show. So I hope you will check back tomorrow and get more information and all the fun stuff that I give you, like, fun stories from England. You're learning more about society, life in England. Come on, where are you going to get this? Only at COVID-19 Update Show by Heerak. This is where you get it. Wouldn't you agree that your life is more fun because of COVID-19 by Heerak Show? Wouldn't you agree that now you know more about COVID-19 because of Heerak Show, COVID-19 Update by Heerak? When you say that you have gained insights that you don't find at CNN, Fox News, PBS, New York Times, Washington Post, Politico, because you watch COVID-19 Update by Heerak Show every day? Of course you do. And that's why you should continue watching it every day. So I hope that you will watch. Excuse me. So I hope that you will check back tomorrow, and that you will benefit from the shows in the future. I hope that you will be well, and that your family will be well too. See you tomorrow. Bye.